Hello and welcome back, everyone, to this amazing podcast with us. And today we have with us Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hi, good. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And it's amazing and a pleasure of mine that I'm hosting you. So, Kevin, we would love to know more about you and your journey. That would be really great if you could share how you get started in the field and what you're doing these days.
Yeah, I'm I'm an engineer, so I like to say a lot of times that I just type in stuff and suddenly it works. But well, it brings me like 2, 3 years ago to Web3. I began to make a thesis about imports and exports in the Mexican in Mexico. And about this thesis, I say like, okay, what if we can add artificial intelligence to scan if a package is good or is bad, but at the same time, why not use a blockchain system inside of it? And after this, it was a pretty uh, rabbit hole to investigate about like everything about blockchain protocols, blockchains around it, about the smart contracts, or how to develop the smart contracts. And after that, I beginning to stay in a small community in Mexico and participate like I'd say like pretty actively in a community called Frutero. And after this, the rest is history. Right now, I'm the CTO of a protocol called EVVM. We make a virtual blockchain, so you can deploy your own virtual instance in, inside of any blockchain without worry about any infra or uh, anything around making a blockchain. And right now, I'm actively developing a solution for artists called Shine. That is a protocol, but sometimes not a protocol because we want to develop a Web3 solution. But with that kind of field, you don't even know it's completely Web3. So you use only passkeys and you can buy songs using your credit card or debit card without any problem. So yeah, and right now seeing around the DevRel path, it's pretty interesting to me about the DevRel.
Wow, it's really amazing to know, Kevin, about your journey as you have a lot of experience working with different protocols and chains and ecosystem. And now it's even great to know that you are exploring DevRel path. We'll be covering some of the aspects about DevRel and DevRel Uni as well in the coming time. But Kevin, as you have a lot of experience working as a blockchain engineer at Shine and Cotimet, ETH, which is very good event, and co-team at DSI Mexico, co-team at Herdao Mexico. You also are an ambassador at Arbitrum Foundation and CTO at EVVM and smart contract engineer at 2Cop Finance. So you have a lot of experience, right? So what mistakes you see in the newcomers that are entering in this field that they are making, and how they could have done better?
I guess one problem I see around around the communities, mostly in Latin America, it's that most of the information and tutorials are only in English. That is a complicated path to everyone. Like uh, some people around Mexico can even understand English, so it's it's a language barrier to them. It's a very big problem. Uh, one thing I always say to people that want to learn about Web3 and all the blockchain stuff, it's like, okay, if you didn't know about English, it's going to be a big problem. So you need to understand like basic English. for this example. And another thing I see in one of my biggest mistakes for me is going completely technical. Try to understand everything in just a little small time and understand all the system, how it works, etc., etc. And that thing shocked me when I go to my first hackathon and try to develop one solution in like, okay, I need to be technical. I need to explain that in a technical way, or I need to understand every single line of code. I see. And after this, it's like, okay, my brain is pretty complicated right now, and I try to understand that all of it, and suddenly, like, okay, I can't do any, I can't really do anything right now. So one part I think is pretty important to any person to want to develop inside blockchain systems. It's like try to make small projects and try to integrate one solution they want do you want to understand, or maybe do you want to explore, and check about a little bit of documentations and try to implement that solution using that protocol.
Okay, Kevin, wonderful. That's really amazing, and maybe it might help a lot of newcomers who are overwhelmed with all the information that is in the blockchain world. And specifically, Kevin, there are a lot of protocols and chains, layer one, layer two, and a lot of solutions. So, uh, for someone who's completely beginner who don't know from where to start, what do you advise them to start from? Which language? Solidity, Rust, Cairo, and there are a bunch of languages, and from where they can start contributing and start entering into this space so that they don't feel overwhelmed with all the information and can um, explore it in a really good way. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends of what area you are. When I uh, was taking talks about Arbitrum, for example, for It's Cinco de Mayo or Ethereum Mexico, one thing I see a lot of questions is like, okay, how can I be part of the Web3 ecosystem? I need to know about how the blockchain works. I need to learn about maybe make smart contracts. It's like, okay, but first I need to know about your background. And most of the people are not in the technical path. So maybe you are from marketing, or maybe you are I don't know, an accountant, or maybe you're a scientist. So for this part, like, not technical, I always say like, okay, just learn about how blockchains work in the most simple path possible. Just know about, okay, you need to make a proof of work, or maybe a proof of stake, and that thing goes to make a hash, etc., etc. Knowing about a little bit how blockchains work, uh, well, it makes you more easily to comprehend about all the ecosystem around Web3. But for the technical part, depends too. For example, I know a person about security. About security, there is a very good researcher, but they say, okay, I need to know how can make blockchain secure, or maybe a smart contract secure. I don't even know what a smart contract is. Maybe it's a legal stuff. And I say, okay, you need to just learn about a little bit of Solidity, that is literally just JavaScript, in in a simple way, and that's it. If you want to go to make auditions for just Ethereum in general, but if you want to make another contribution around other blockchains, you need to learn about the smart contract language they use. Maybe if you want to go to Solana, you need to learn about Rust. Maybe if you want to go to Arbitrum, for example, not only you need to learn about Solidity, but in Arbitrum they have one thing called Arbitrum Stylus. That is, you make a smart contract not only work for Solidity, but you can make it also for Rust or any language can be interpolated using assembly 8086. Sorry. Yeah, 8086. So it's like, okay, you need to learn about more language programs, or maybe if you want to go to another part, for example, StartNet, you need to learn about Cairo. This is one part. But if you want to make use a simple smart contract engineer, I guess it's just understand how Solidity works, how the Ethereum virtual machine works inside to make more secure and gas friendly solutions, and understand a little bit of coding defense. That's why I call it. It's just make your smart contracts more secure and even test it out with unit and fuzz proofs that you can make more secure code, and that's it.
Wonderful, amazingly covered, Kevin. Now, moving forward, Kevin, do you use AI in your work? And if yes, then how specifically?
Well, if I mostly use AI as was Google it, just asking questions like, how can I make this thing, or maybe this thing broke, so I need to know how to make that solution for that. But mostly in my path as a smart contract developer, I use it most for Googling things, and well, Google it, like just try to search it. And when I gonna admit one thing, when I a little bit lazy, I want to use the auto completion in GitHub Copilot just for completed stuff. But mostly it's like just try to research things, because mostly of the code using AI, and most if you develop a solution that nobody knows, even the AI knows, can make pretty bad hallucinations, like pretty bad hallucinations. I always get angry about the AI, like, okay, why you don't understand this? I tell you that this thing need to connect with this thing, and make more hallucination about that. But in the most simple way, like maybe I use a boilerplate, or maybe simple solutions that everyone knows, AI can be more beneficial. So if you want to develop one thing and want to accelerate a little bit, you can use AI with that. And with the part of DevRel, mostly I use for one thing I call knowledge bank. I try to feed the AI with all my investigations and all my text and all my posts, just for the AI get know about how to make my stuff. For example, for my project right now that I made for the DevRel University, right now I try to make content about the FE programming language, and because it's a pretty new language, like they're still on beta or maybe alpha, I use that not only for try to research about how to make one thing in FE, but at the same time trying to make my post more had more engagement. And yeah, it's more principle most in that DevRel part.
Amazing. So Kevin, how do you get to know about DevRel Uni?
Well, about how to I know about DevRel. Uh, First of all, my family, it's they have a grand lineage about teachers. So, like, I can say 80, no, 90% of my all the person of my family are teachers. So I say like there's a teaching blood inside of me. It's strange, but yeah. And I love to make content and teach people about stuff I know, not only just for the love of it, but principally I have one uh, thing I love to say is like the knowledge should be free, not only in Toast, but if you know something that everybody struggles, you try to teach it, and not only just teaching like, yeah, that, do the stuff, but make it more simple to everyone to understand. Because if you make the most complicated thing, nobody can understand that. And at the end, even it's more complicated for you, because if you want to collaborate with another person, if they can understand that, it's more complicated for you, because you can, well, you you be pretty alarmed try to develop one thing. And I know it because when I was try to understand how blockchains work and how smart contracts work for my thesis, it was pretty complicated to me to get more knowledge about it. Most of the content are just in English, or maybe you try to learn something and it's pretty impossible. Or even the tutorials are pretty complicated. Like they can only assume that you know about how to use Solidity. So it was pretty complicated until I know practical links. That was, and it still is the goal for me. Because when I try to know about smart contract development and all the stuff, all the blockchain stuff, when I see the videos, they make the most easily things possible, make it more simple. It's like, oh, okay, so it's smart contract developer is not complicated. It's not rocket science. Even rocket science is not complicated. If Patrick only tried to teach me about this, but yeah, after seeing this and after my experience, it's like, okay, I want to I want to make that knowledge that I know more simple and try to teach everyone about it.
Amazing, Kevin. That's really beautiful. And Kevin, we would love to know how do you get to know about DevRel University, the program in which we both are participating, and so far what you've learned in the program from all the fellow participants and the speakers that you want to share with our audience.
Yeah, I know about the DevRel University since season one, because one person I know, Aurelius, it was the first participating inside the first season. And for me, knowing about this DevRel University, like, pretty good, because it's at the same time impossible to know how to make DevRel content or how to be a DevRel. So after knowing this and after postpone season by season by season. Uh, right now, I try to make a DevRel career, so I entered it into the DevRel, and right now, for my experience in DevRel University, it really opened my mind to many things I can do, and even so, for me, uh, I have a little bit of anxiety to talk with people, so at the same time, this thing helped me to make more anxious about teaching. That is kind of ironic because I love teaching, but at the same time have this type of anxiety. So yeah.
Oh, wow, that's really amazing, Kevin. And I believe that you would be a great teacher soon. And we'll all be there to support you in your journey of being a great developer from Mexico. Nice, Kevin. So moving forward, what challenges you faced in your role, Kevin, and how you overcame it?
Well, right now, one thing I try to overcome is that for my teachings and all my tutorials I try to make right now is uh, make it more simple. And right now for the project I try to make, because this programming language is pretty new, like I say, and because it doesn't have much simple documentation. Right now the fail language is for technical people like heaven to this documentation, but for normal people or people to try to uh, go inside the blockchain ecosystem, if you read that documentation, it's like, okay, uh, how to, oh, it's complicated. No, I'm out of here. So right now, I try to make it more simple. That is a little bit complicated because as a technical person myself, sometimes I made the mistake to explain it in a more technical way and overcomplicate it. So it's a little bit kind of a problem to me. But yeah, it's right now I try to overcome, make it more simple, even using the AI to explain it, like try to explain another person and receive the feedback like, yeah, you say that thing, but as a person that know about how to use that programming language, or maybe as a person that to understand Web3, it's complicated for me because that, and after receiving this feedback, just getting in the loop and make it more simple. So yeah.
Wonderful, Kevin. So, any three advices and three mistakes from your life, Kevin, that you want to share with our audience, which can help them in their life?
Well, in general, not only as a developer, one thing I kind of make always a mistake is like overthink about how can I do things. Always when I try to make one thing, it's not because I'm lazy. Uh, Most it is like thinking about like, yeah, what happened is this thing happened, and what happened is this thing happened, and after thinking and thinking and thinking, I do down. I don't do that stuff that I want. So after learning like by myself, it's like, okay, yeah, you can think about it like any scenarios you want, but at the end, if you don't even try it, you don't even know what's going to happen next, maybe for good, maybe for bad, but at the end, it's just a path you can learn about it, even if that's good or even if that's bad. The second is like, don't, if you learn about one thing, uh, don't gatekeep it. Try to teach about more people about it, because at the end you don't even know if you're gonna get help about this person, or maybe you can learn about more of that stuff later. uh, that's happened like I guess like 5 years ago, when I tried to learn about one programming language. It was Rust, if I remember. And one thing I learned, I just keep it by myself and don't teach to uh, uh, like anyone. And one thing that gave me the shock for me is like just try to know about how to program in this language, and say yeah I know what one thing, yeah I know one thing, and suddenly that person that was saying about well, try to teach me about the language the Rust language program, uh tell me like, no, you don't know about this, and I know it because I see how you make that code, and this not work like this. You can add it this, you can put it this, and you're good to go. And after this is like, oh, okay, I don't need to gatekeep it by myself anymore. But yeah, it's like, don't gatekeep it. Try to make that knowledge free, because at the end you don't even know the next person if you're gonna teach you about more, or maybe that person in the future can give you a hand after teaching you about this.
Wow.
And the third, sorry, in the third one, do it for fun. I always say this because many times you try to make it more serious, and after try to make it more serious and more professional, you ended overweight, overthinking about this, and overwhelmed about any situation. But if you think like you're playing, I don't know, a game, or do it for fun, or do it for the lols, uh, you ended up in a situation that makes you more curious and more enjoyable about that thing you try to learn, or about that work you must to do. So yeah, the third, I guess, is just make it for the lows.
Okay, that's really insightful advices and mistakes, Kevin, that you've shared with our audience, and I really hope that they get to learn a lot from you. And everyone, feel free to connect with Kevin. I'll share the social handles in the description so that you can connect with Kevin. And thank you so much, Kevin, for accepting my invitation. And it's really great. And thanks to Bianca for pairing me, Kevin, and Purple in a subgroup for being the accountability partners. It's really amazing to know about you. And thank you so much for coming and for sharing your experience. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Bye bye.